Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Cool Spot for the Sega Master System. In the last video, we made our way through the wading pool level, and now, after beating another wall level, we're back at the dock. So let's get on with this. We are on the final two levels of this game, and if you go all the way up at the beginning, you will be able to get yourself a big spot worth 7%, which is what you want to do, because you want to get as many things as possible for the bonus level. There's one more bonus level. I want to get there and show it off. There's another big version. There's another big version spot up there. I wanted to make sure I went ahead and got that. And I want to make sure that I get that spot too. Be ready to fight a host of enemies as you go through here, because they will all be in your way as you're doing stuff around here. I can't believe he hit me. That was embarrassing. And it takes a little bit of doing to get that spot, but I managed to pull that off. And I want to make sure I explore over there, so that way I can get some more spots. And I also want to make sure I go over here too, because there's going to be spots on the side, and I don't want to make sure that I don't miss any of them. Now, there's going to be a clam right here. I want to make sure I get on the other side of him before I fight him. There's another spot, and there's some time. Now, let's wrap around here a little bit, so that way we can get everything over here, and then we can loop back around and get to where we need to be. We're already at 50% cool, which I'm okay with. You should pretty much have that much as soon as you're over here anyway. And I want to make sure I get everything here too before I make my way up. Now, let's make sure we take care of the crabs and the inchworm. And we need to... Well, I thought we could do that. That was a terrible idea. Okay. That's over there. I want to make sure I get those. And then... Oh, really? I hurt myself doing that? Didn't think I would run into the sharp jack. Or whatever that was when I did that. Oh well, what can you do? In case I do make it to the bonus level, which I will, I'll have another extra life to get. Yeah, once you get all the continues, the 7th bonus level will have an extra life. Sadly, there is not an 8th one. And anything that will qualify as an 8th one, well, it doesn't exist in the game. So once we are able to open the final cage in the final level, we're just going to have to get the cage. Anyway, this platform where the clam was where I was supposed to go. Took me a while to figure that out. Now, I'm not exactly a big fan of those two spots up there, because you have to go out of your way to really get those if you want 100% cool. for the level. And what you have to do is find the next checkpoint and then go out of your way to get those things, those dots. And believe it or not, you actually have to go to the right of those, left of those ropes to get here, and then you have to run to the left to get all these spots, and barely make it over here in time. Now, there is a spot right here, and you need to be rather low on the rope in order to get up to this next one. And there's some health. Amazingly, I was able to get that health. Yeah, there are some enemies near here, near this checkpoint, and if you somehow manage to destroy an enemy while it's low to the ground in that particular area, you can get some health. You can get some much needed health. Now it's time to get the other dot, which I don't mind getting. How did I not do a dumb thing and fall off before I got there? Hey, no. There we go. Yeah, you gotta be really careful with the platforms here if you wanna get everything here, believe it or not. Alright, and now we're back here again. Thankfully, I've had more than enough. There we go. Yeah, apparently the game really allows you to save yourself if you're trying to get over there, which I find rather interesting. All 3 times I thought I would fail, yet I failed at none of them. Okay. Let us get over here like we should be. And let us make our way further up this level. Let's get all the spots over here. And let's get all the spots over here. And I didn't want to do that. Game. Well, at least I didn't fall too far. But yeah, you'll have to go out of your way. Whoa, really? That did it for me? Interesting. Anyway. You're really expected to just get to this checkpoint that I just triggered, and then go for those 2 spots that you're forced to go back to get both of them for. But thankfully, because I was crazy enough to lose a life when I didn't need to, I'm able to continue with the rest of this. Now let's grab this clock so that way I have another 2 minutes. Now I want to be very careful how I do this. Thankfully, you can leap from a pretty high distance up on the rope. Don't want to do that. I'm going to be very careful where I go. And where I shoot, too, because I'm getting near the end here. And go up here for an easy-to-miss spot. From there, we can shoot the lockdown. And we are good. So even if I didn't die from touching a stage hazard, I would have died from a time over anyway. So, what I'm going to do here is going to be more than making up for the lost life. Anyway, we need to head all the way to the top. As quickly as we can. And we can definitely do that with these bubbles. And if we go down this way, we can easily get our hands on some spots. So up in the upper left-hand corner is where you need to go to get the 1-up, which I recommend getting in case you, well, need some extra lives. And further to the right of the 1-up is some time, which I definitely do my best to get my hands on when it comes time to, well, getting more time. 70% cool, not too bad. And that is the 7th and last bonus level of this entire game. And we are now going to head on to Surf Patrol, which is the 8th and final level of the game. So, don't want to go over there just yet. I want to clear a path across the ground floor. That'll allow me to get rid of the enemies that will be in the way as I do everything that I need to do. So I won't be able to get any 1-ups around here or anything. All I'll really be able to do is just get as many cool points as possible, and then finally end this once and for all. Okay, can't go through the book. Didn't think you could. Alright. Need to get past you guys. And I need to take care of you too. There we go. And I need to get rid of you too. Will he pop up again? Yeah, he'll pop up from that distance. Glad he did. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. And we are now approaching the end of the level, where we can find some dots. And the game will tell us that we need to go up. But the only way to go up is, well, by making our way up the beach volleyball net. So, we need to make our way all the way either to the far left or to this chair. Be sure to check out the chair too. You want to make sure that you don't miss out on the points that are located around here. And you also want to make sure you take out the enemies that are around here as well. also want to make sure that I go all the way back to the far left. So that way, I can get even more spots that I didn't get the first time around. And I can start exploring the beach volleyball net proper. Now there's plenty of these bubbles that you can use to explore this little area here. It can be a little overwhelming at times, believe you me. And you're going to need to use them all if you want to get everything that's located around here. Also, the top of the chair here is a really good place to get back onto the net in case you need a way to get up there rather easily. And the upper right corner of the net is where you really want to be for some of the stuff that you want to get. Thankfully, I didn't land too far away from the... chair. That made it a lot easier to get over there. And if I could get some more momentum, that would be great. There we go. Yeah, you want to explore this net as much as you can, because doing so will allow you to find all of the spots that you can get your hands on. And even if you run out of time, don't worry. You'll get a full, fresh thing of time when you come back on your next life. You'll have that going for you, which is nice. So this has been a fun game. This has been a rather fun port, I will have to admit. Glad I played it. I mean, I've seen this port in action quite a bit. Well, maybe not quite a bit, but definitely a little bit. And I'm actually pretty impressed with how it performs and everything. It's still a little bit of a shame that some of the level themes are gone, just due to the memory and space constraints and everything that comes from being a Sega Master System port of a game. But other than that, I can't really complain too much. I really don't have much to complain about. And there's the time. I wanted to get my hands on that and I couldn't. I was just completely unable to. But at least I'm able to get a little further at the net now. So I can do things like this and, you know, get away with it. Do want to keep firing to the left here. That'll help me take care of that pesky mosquito. Definitely want to get rid of more mosquitoes as I do stuff here. And of course, whenever you're looking for more spots and you're bouncing on bubbles, you always want to make sure you're holding the jump button, because you never know. We never know when you might realize that you're not going to make that jump like you thought you would. And now we're at the fun part. And to me, this is the fun part because this is the part that leads to the cage. And I didn't want to do that because there were more spots over there. But you know what? I'll just go ahead and end it on this little nice high note. I mean, I get the one-up anyway. And congratulations! You have completed the quest for cool. So this music does pop up in the Master System version, but you don't get to hear much of it. And this is all you get for an ending. Once you see the screen, it fades to black, and you get sent back to the title screen. And just like that, we're back at the start. So how did this game measure up? Well, if you like the 16-bit versions of Cool Spot, and you've always wanted to play a pared-down 8-bit version, or if it's 1993 and you still can't afford a Sega Genesis, and you live in Europe and you need a game that is basically Cool Spot for the Sega Master System, well, this game is pretty darn good. It's obviously pared down. It's obviously a little bit easier because of the frame rate. This version does have a slower frame rate, and because of that, it's a little easier to play. And there are credits, which play during the demo. Not much of a credit screen, but it's there. If you're having a tough time playing the 16-bit versions, you may want to try this one on for size, because this one can get you a little ready for the faster versions of the game with a smaller amount of levels and a smaller, slower speed with a smaller frame rate and lower frame rate. And once you get used to this, you can get used to the other versions of the game. You've got that going for you at least, and man, the demos on this are terrible. Spot just runs in everything. Graphics, they're alright. They're not the same as the 16-bit version, but they'll suffice here. I did like the sound and music here. Same as it was with the other versions, but a little simpler. Play control, I didn't have much of a really didn't have much of a problem with that, as a matter of fact. It was pretty responsive for the most part. Performs much like it does in the other versions, and performs just as well. And once you see everything this game has to offer, there's not going to be much to bring you back, but it is a nice game to have if you have a Master System collection nonetheless. This is definitely a decent platformer for the console. So if you need a running and jumping game for the Master System, this is definitely one to grab. Just like with the other versions of the game, there are no bosses. There's just exploration and picking up points and unlocking the cage and all that, but it's still the same action that the other well-treasured versions of this game has, just in 8-bit form. And that's alright. Do I recommend this game? Yeah, I pretty much do. I mean, I probably would be recommending this one if I hadn't played the Genesis/Mega Drive version of this game so long ago. But even after having played that version, yeah, this may not be that version, but it's still good. And it makes me wonder what the game could have been like had it been on Game Gear. Was it ever on Game Gear? I'll go ahead and take a look. Something tells me it probably wasn't. It was on Game Boy. It was on Game Gear. Now, is it the same as the Master System version? That's what I want to know. Because something tells me that it might not be. Nope, it's actually the same. So this was ported to the Game Gear. And it's the same on Game Gear as it was here. Good to know. And I just accidentally touched the mic, and I apologize for that. So, all in all, this is a rather fun game for the Master System and Game Gear, now that I know that it was on Game Gear and is basically the same version as this, just squished down to fit that screen, and available in the States, of course. And it's definitely worth picking up. I don't know what else to say. So, this has been Let's Play Cool Spot for the Sega Master System. Hopefully, I'll be back with another game. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be bad. Maybe it'll be somewhere in between. Who knows? Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care. Stay safe. Thanks for watching, and see y'all later.